of sports entertainment talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, Two Men On with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Hey, yo. What it is, Duke City. Welcome to the program. Of course, the program in question, Two Men On, right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. The boys are live at Sadie's on 4th Street. Your Albuquerque Isotopes are in the Central Time Zone, so you only got us for an hour and 45 minutes. So I want you to keep that butt right on the edge of the seat, because we're hitting them hard for the next hour and 45 minutes. I have to say it every time when it happens.
Fred's not here.
It's going to be a Fredless Thursday here at Sadie's on 4th Street. He's out in the streets helping some childrens.
Aww.
Lucky for me, sitting in for him, El Hombre del Sombrero. You may know him better as producer on this program. Carlos Tenorio joins in Fred's stead. Welcome to Sadie's, Carlos.
Thank you. My first time here at Sadie's for this show. I have produced it many a time from the studio, but first time here at such a historic restaurant here in the Duke City.
And when you say first time here, you mean first time here doing the program.
Doing the program,
because you're no stranger to the delicious food. And now, since you're 21, delicious drink here at Sadie's.
You know, the delicious food has always been a staple here at Sadie's in my life. You know, when my great-grandmother was around, we would come here every so often and enjoy some sopapillas and the enchilada platters here. And, so good. Very excited to try the new drink now that I'm freshly 21, see what they have cooking up here, some Margs and stuff. So we'll have to do that maybe later.
So Zay is new to the magic of Sadie's. He came here once to sit where you're sitting right now and do this program with myself, and he had his first taste of tamales.
I remember that very well.
Shortly after that, had his first taste of enchiladas, and now he pencils in Sadie's every time he goes out to dinner.
Hey, there you go. You know, it's the perfect place to take a date if it's their first time coming. For you, Isaiah.
Isaiah. Phrasing.
Forgot Carlos listens.
Yeah, I do listen. But it is a religious experience when you come here to Sadie's. And, you know, I saw the joy in Isaiah's eyes when he had that tamale. So, you know, it's always a blessing when New Mexican food is consumed by somebody for the first time, and you see it's the first time they've ever tasted heaven, and it's New Mexican food.
What you saw was the endorphins being released in the green chili. You saw.
Yeah, it's called joy. It's called joy.
All right, Zay, what sets up your day more for success? Enchiladas at Sadie's with the margarita, or one of your cold showers every morning? What releases the most endorphins? Which one is it?
If I have to wake up early, I'm going to go with the cold shower. But if I wake up at a respectable time and the sun's up and it's warm, I'll go ahead and make that early jump to the lunch food and get my tamale or enchiladas.
And there you go.
Very smart. Carlos, it sounds so much better when you pronounce all the food items here, because while I speak like entry-level Spanish, I don't lean into it as hard as I probably should.
The sopapillas.
Exactly.
The enchiladas.
You talking about the sopapillas?
Yeah. The tortillas.
Dang, brother, they were good. You can put some chili on them. You can put some honey on them. They're good.
Some mole.
You want them sweet? You want them savory? Them soapy pillas, man.
No sopapillas. Those sopas, as my dad and grandma call them.
Hey, I know this one.
Tamales.
They are delicioso. I know that one.
Mucho. Mucho bueno.
We're going to jump right into it. Just sweet redemption for Luka Doncic last night as he got to go back to Dallas. He showed up, he showed out, and he embarrassed his old bosses to the count of 45 points, 4 steals, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 7 of 10 for 3. We worried there might be some nerves. We're worried there might be a little extra emotion that wouldn't allow him to be full-blown Luka.
Mm-hmm.
He blew right past that and embarrassed the ever-loving hell out of the Dallas Mavericks, really put it on them. How cathartic was that for you, Zay? Feel good?
It was awesome, and here's why it was awesome. Carlos was in the studio yesterday, and I asked him to pull up on his phone during the Josh segment so I could just see what it looked like. And I mean, he almost got me emotional just because if someone's emotional and they let it flow easily, it's like you sometimes you kind of just watch and you empathize, but it doesn't really hit you. But when you see someone really trying to fight off overwhelming emotions and they can't hold it anymore, that's when it gets me. And Luka, people forget he's 26 years old. He's younger than I am.
There's players on BYU older than Luka.
That's exactly. So in Luka, you see him, he's crying before the game, his lips quivering. Right before they put the video up, I saw him ask for a towel, so he knew that the waterworks they were coming. And then after the game, he said that beforehand, as he's watching the video, he's asking himself, there's no way, like he's telling himself, there's no way I'm going to be able to play this game. So he was feeling it that strong that he was wondering if he'd be able to play the game. And he scores 30 in the first half, 30 points in the first half. The Mavericks just started doubling him, blitzing him. It could have been worse than 45. He was locked in. And again, it's big time player, big time moment. You see it with Shohei, World Series, not the World Series, the All-Star game. At the plate, big moment, boom, hits it out of the park. And with Luka, big time moment, you got all these emotions going on, and he thrived in it. So I think he's a perfect guy for the Lakers. He loves the spotlight. He rises with it. And it was beauty.
I know how Luka feels because I've watched American Idol with my parents, and then just seeing kids sing their heart out, man, makes me water up every time. My mom starts crying, my dad starts crying, and then of course I'm last to the party, but I still do it anyways. So yeah. Luka, I get it, right there with you, brother.
Yeah, it was like Zay said. I was in studio yesterday before, towards the end of 2 Men On to produce the Ice Tips game, and oh my goodness. It got me emotional as a Warrior fan, and simply for multiple reasons. Being an A's fan, you see something like this a lot. But I think the most important aspect of this is you could tell he never wanted to leave Dallas.
Sure.
He wanted to be in Dallas for, as long as he could play. And Nico, their GM of Genius, did not really align with that vision very much for Luka. So you could see it was more pain, I think, than anything of, I should still be here. Obviously, he looks very happy with the Los Angeles Lakers. I would be too. If I'm leaving Dallas to go play for the Lakers, I feel like that's an upgrade. But yeah, what my favorite part, though, was the Gatorade commercial before the game. I don't know if you guys saw this. He has the Gatorade towel around his shoulders, and it spells traitor across the towel. So I thought that was a nice little promo over there by Gatorade. Wow. But such an emotional return. You never know with revenge games like this, right? You see it sometimes in the Red Sox and Yankees rivalry. Brett Favre's return to Green Bay. You don't know how these games are going to play out. And let's not forget the other side. The other guy in this trade was Anthony Davis as well. He had to go out and play last night. And what did he do last night? With Luka's homecoming, let me show you why I'm worth it. He did nothing last night. He went 5 for 13 from the field in 33 minutes. No threes. Did have 11 boards, but finished with 13 points. Now, I'm no mathematician here. I'm getting my degree in multimedia communications. I think I'll take the 45 over the 13 any night.
Yeah, I think Anthony Davis, poor AD, I think he really just kind of got engulfed in the moment. I think number one, and I don't want to go too deep here, but AD coming from Chicago, you have you got a way of processing things that really suck. And you can really just say, all right, next moment, all right, we're just going to move on. So I think AD, he's probably thinking look, I know how to handle bad things. I know how to handle bad situations. So that's why he's I'm in no emotion mode. And I think him being no emotion is what made it hard for him. I think, you're trying to act like it's normal, but your whole crowd is rooting for the other player on the other team. And it feels like you're at an away game. A really big thing I wanted to run across you, Van, and you too, Carlos. I know usually I like bringing up topics like this for Fred to feedback to, so I'll probably bring it up again tomorrow. But I don't know if you heard about this. The Mavericks apparently reached out to Luka's camp before this game, and they were trying to work out some type of sponsorship deal, and Luka's camp said no. They shut it down. They said, nah, we're good. So I thought that, like, if you wonder how he's taking this, for him to tell his old team, like, nah, I'm not interested in helping you guys out at all, that shows that there's some bad blood there. Like, no matter how you try to cut it or slice it, there's bad blood.
That's like you going back to your ex's house.
If you're Anthony Davis, you can't be upset. You can be hurt. You can feel betrayed. You can feel slighted. You can feel disrespected. All those are valid. But you can't get mad that you got traded for Luka. He's the second best player on the planet. You got to know that if your team can acquire Luka Doncic, it doesn't matter what it's for. They could have gave up AD and LeBron and tried to acquire Luka. Like that would have been a more fair trade. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
It's unfortunate because I don't know how do you take that if you're Anthony Davis, right? You get traded for a player like a Luka. Right? Is that a man? I still have some value. Does that give you like a kickstart, or is it more like, man, the Lakers really did not want me, and they gave, the Mavericks don't want to win. It's me and a bag of chips.
After the fact, after you go through the 7 stages of grief, you feel probably a little bit complimented that you were the one involved in trading for Luka. I mean, that's one way to look at it. But it seemed like at the beginning, he did and said all the right things. Like he's like, I'm a top 10 player, like, which I would say top 20, but like, sure, you can make a great argument there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do the best for my new organization and my new teammates. He said all the right things. He did all the right things. The problem is he had 1.5 games of being dominant, healthy Anthony Davis. And now Dallas Maverick fans all over the Texas area and probably the world, because a lot of people leave Texas because reasons. But you said all the right things. You did all the right things. But all the fans in Dallas are like, oh, he's incredible when he's healthy, but he's never going to be on the court.
Exactly.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, I guarantee the biggest thing for him, because he said this initially, he actually said out of his mouth, like, I understand, like, it's Luka, it's a big deal. I think the biggest thing for Anthony Davis is he doesn't want to put too much energy into it, but he's like, whoever knew about this, it is screw you. Like, as far as the teammates are concerned, I think he knows it's a business. I think the only thing that could bug him in this situation is, did LeBron know, and how early did LeBron know? I feel like if he's 100% convinced that LeBron did not know, I don't think he feels too much, backstab from this. But from what he said, he's like, LeBron says he didn't know, but he seems uncertain, as if LeBron knew or not. And I think that's bugging him more than anything.
What hurt me more than the absolute heart being ripped out of Dallas Maverick fan last night, watching Luka go off on that game, and you could have gave LeBron the night off. Yeah, you could have gave Reeves the night off. He could have single-handedly won that game as on as he was last night. It hurts worse than Anthony Davis having to go to a worse situation. All the fallback from the trade, the real issue of the Dallas Mavericks' new ownership group probably trying to lose on purpose, lose their fans and move to Vegas. That goes without saying as well. But what hurts the worst is watching Mark Cuban slumped over, holding his head in his hands while the crowd chants, "Fire Nico." And he's just like, what have I done? What has become of my beautiful baby boy? Look what I did. Yeah, that's hard to watch.
He didn't do it himself, but he gave other people permission to do it in a way. Like, he stepped down, and so I'm thinking, he's like, man, if I had never let go of this team, this wouldn't be happening. You saw Luka and Mark, they met up after the game, and they shook hands. So I'm sure they've had their conversations. I think that confirms that Cuban did not know, although we never, there was question about it, but he came out and said he didn't know. I believed him.
Well, from what I understood from the original sale was he would sell his majority ownership, but he would still have a Mark Cuban-esque role. in the organization, where he gets to make front office decisions, do the best thing for the Dallas Mavericks. And allegedly he was ran out of that stadium. He was ran out of the front office. He was stripped of his decision-making ability. And now he's just some guy on the sidelines that claps for his team, which he has a minority ownership of. Because he knows he wouldn't have got rid of Luka.
Oh, yeah.
He would have handed Luka a blank check if Mark Cuban was still the majority owner of the Mavericks.
It's one of those weird times where you have an owner that actually cared, right?
Yeah.
You have a few owners in all of professional sports that care, and I could only imagine that feeling. It must have been a feeling, and looking back at the video, it must have been a feeling of, like you said, what have I done? There's a sense of, maybe regret. I think is the best way to put it on Mark's
100%
face there.
regret.
Because now they're speed running. Reports saying they're trying to move into Vegas, trying to speed run this, Mavericks to Vegas thing. And it's looking a lot like the plot of the baseball movie Major League in this aspect. Get rid of all your, your good players. But yeah, I really feel for Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban was every Mavs fan last night. He was one of the few owners that was a fan in the NBA. I would say him and forgot the gentleman that owns the Los Angeles Clippers.
But those were the
Ballmer? Two. Yeah, Steve Ballmer. Those were the last two true fan owners. Now it's just Steve Ballmer, and it really did pain me. Because I've been spoiled with my basketball team, but it's a fact of Dallas loves their sports so much. Texas loves their sports so much in every capacity. Dallas fans might be the most optimistic fan base in the world. Between the Cowboys and the Rangers and the Stars and everything, but they love their sports, and it hurts to see a city that loves their sports so much, have to go through something like this.
Yeah, trust me, a lot of them are my fellow Cowboy fans. I'm like, all right, well, this is where we split, guys. Sorry, I just got happier. Their hearts are broken, but I'm like, yeah, this is a benefit being a fan of a team that actually wants to get better.
For a fat guy who doesn't do conditioning, a 45-point almost triple double's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Just a tad.
Yeah,
just a tad.
Big old fatty from Eastern Europe who doesn't run or do conditioning or try hard at all. No effort. Bad teammate. Huh. I think you're lying. We'll unpackage this a little more, and we'll give you a Masters update when we get back. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you.
2 Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. One Van Nunley, one Carlos Tenorio, one Zay Johnson back at the studio. And then on the Sports Animal Hotline, I believe we have one Marty with us as well.
Ooh, he just left us.
Oh, boo.
He wanted to talk Mr. Luca too, so hopefully Marty calls back.
Okay.
Come on, Marty,
So,
call us back.
Marty, you
Yes.
know the number.
Quick heads up, we also have Pantera tickets to give away.
Oh, I'll tell you what. How about we do that right at 5?
Sounds good to play.
What do we got? We got a 2-pack, we got a 4-pack.
2-pack.
We got a 2-pack, little 2-pack.
Tupac.
Updates at the Masters. Justin Rose with the 3-shot lead. He's done for the day. -7 was the best score. That's 3 more than Canadian Corey Connors, who shot a -4. I think with the tariffs, he actually shot a -5, but they have to score at a -4.
The greatest golf terrace. So good.
Scotty Scheffler also at -4. He's off to a good start. He had a bogey-free round. I don't know what that's like, but I heard it's cool. Tyrell Hatton, Ludwig Advog at -3. Also, Bryson creeping up at -3. He's still got 3 more holes left. Rory McIlroy in the hunt. So a lot of dudes up at the top of this thing. Rory McIlroy 2 under through 16. He's got 2 holes left. Cam Smith in the mix. And my favorite story so far of the day, Freddie Couples shot under par. And this is incredible because I don't mind telling you, the guy is 65, about to be 66 years old.
Hey.
And he shot under par
Good
first
for
round
Freddie.
of the Masters. I mean, golf fan out there will be no stranger to the name Freddie Couples, one of the prettiest swings in the history of golf. And his name's been up and down the leaderboard for the better part of 40 years now. That's a cool story. We'll be watching him for sure. Sergio Garcia in the mix, Corin Morikawa even. You got a lot of big names still in the hunt right now, and it looks like, as of right now, +2 looks to be the cut line. We still have a whole nother day of golf tomorrow. We'll see who gets to make it to the weekend after tomorrow's round. But Brooks Koepka, +2, right on the line. Dustin Johnson, +2. He's right on the line. Keegan Bradley, Xander Schauffele, he's right on the line. Jordan Spieth, he's close. Justin Thomas. Got some big names. My guy, who I picked, Sahith Theegala, is even, so he can make a run for it anytime. You see, I make this joke all the time, Carlos. Like wherever we go, we are a multifaceted group of friends, right?
Yes.
Group of acquaintances, group of coworkers, group of similar minds in the industry, and there's always a few of each. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not all just a bunch of old white guys hanging out.
No,
But
you
that's
have
not-
me who can say tortillas.
That is you. You can
There you
pronounce all the words on the menu here, which I cannot do. And the reason I bring this up is because I say, like, if you got like a nice diverse group, you got a nice, basically it's a community college pamphlet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you got one of each.
Pictures.
Everybody sees one. Everyone's represented. And that's not so much the case for the history of the Masters.
No.
Obviously, we got Tiger Woods. Obviously, we got Sergio Garcia. Asia has been well represented, but not India. So I'm rooting for my fellow Indian brethren this week. So count me in. I am on Team India this weekend. So
Marty's
go.
back.
Back on the line. I guess he drove through the intersection on San Mateo Manal for whatever reason. My calls always get dropped. I don't know if it's like an NSA listening site or something. But
going up the hill on Coors to
Yeah.
the volcanoes, that too.
back on the program, friend of the show, Marty. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, that area is being highly monitored, FYI.
I agree. I feel
Also, Van hit it on the head there.
it.
Hey, so it's good and bad for Luka. I think as a Laker fan, it's good. It's good. The good is he's a Laker. You're happy. You know, you're in LA. Tradition. The bad is Laker fan.
I know
is
what
not
you're
as
going to say.
patient as you think. Because
sure.
Laker fan is spoiled watching some of the greatest players ever. So the comparisons come quickly if you don't produce. So if we're here 2 years from now and Luka hasn't won anything or snipped the title or been close to it, then the comparisons start. Then the pressure really comes. And that's probably what you're never going to get at Dallas or maybe 28 other franchises besides the Celtics and Lakers. So that's the bad part about being a Laker. It's happened to LeBron. He got that championship with AD. Obviously, Laker fans still wants more. But that's how I see it as a Laker fan, lifelong Laker fan, watching Pat Riley commentate, not even the coach. That's how long I've been watching the Lakers. Yeah. So to me, I see it like that. So Luka, congratulations, you're a Laker. They pretty much gave you to us. But as a fan and lifelong Laker fan would agree, a couple of years from now, you haven't done anything, then the pressure really mounts.
Well, I mean, it's on LeBron as well, too. I mean, it's not just Luka on his shoulders alone. You got the 2020, the bubble championship, and outside of that, like a series of disappointments for Laker fans. But LeBron is a 40-year-old NBA legend. He's not second best player in the NBA, Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
So the expectations of LeBron James in the twilight of his career and a Luka who's going to be in his prime for what, 8 or 10 years, barring injury.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of the best in NBA for a long time. I see exactly what you're saying, Marty, and I completely agree. But wouldn't you rather be in a position, Marty, where you're on a Lakers, you're on a Celtics, you have that kind of expectations because you're going to be in the mix no matter what?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what you play for. That's the kind of franchise you want to hope to be with and aspire to be with. I can see a couple years from now, Giannis being teamed up.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
With Luka.
I tell a lot of people that are like, well, number one, ever since the Nuggets fired Malone, Jokic has been like connected to the Lakers heavily. But also, I feel like, LeBron saved the Lakers. It's like, no, if the Lakers, and I can say Laker Nation didn't get LeBron, there would have been somebody else that would have came eventually. And what I will say to you, Marty, is I think that point is a great point, but I also think for some players or for most players, they feel that pressure, it makes them worse. But then you've got your rare players where that makes them better. Like if you take LeBron before he went to Miami, someone like him probably would have crumbled in Los Angeles. But if you take him afterwards, after he had went through all the hardships and everything, I think he was built for it. Luka, I don't think he has to go through that to get that edge. I think he's already got it. I think that's why he feeds off fans. That's why I think he fed off the energy last night. I think the more that pressure rains down on him, I think that's the better he'll get. I think he'll understand the circumstances and he'll play better. So I think in this situation, I think it'll turn into multiple championships.
Yeah, I hope so. And watching LeBron is just amazing at his age and what he does.
He got up.
I know we all said Tom Brady's amazing, but Tom Brady had an offensive line. You can argue the rules were sort of made for him. LeBron, think about LeBron's career if you really watch it. He never got a lot of calls. I mean, the guy's the all-time turnover machine. Look it up. Who leads the NBA all-time in turnovers? It's LeBron. And he does. He's right up there because he's had the ball so many times during the course of games. But to me, I still watch him. I'm like, holy cow, this guy's amazing at that age.
I mean, it's really reps, not ineptitude. Yeah. Yes, the amount that he's holding the ball. It's not because he chokes. It's not because he's got slippery
it's
fingers.
You have the ball all the time, and it's statistics eventually.
It's like Cy Young when he pitched. Most wins, most losses too. Luka is one of those players, and Marty, you hit on it. The Celtics, the Lakers. I would even say maybe the New York Knicks a little bit. But those big market franchises, you're going to have that comparison. And what I saw from Luka last night, I think could put almost any shred of doubt that he will give into that pressure. Because, those comparisons will come. Michael Cooper, Magic Johnson, all these amazing Hall of Famers that played for the Lakers. So, I would say that Luka, and you can quote me on this, on April the 10th, 2025, will never give in to the pressure of the Los Angeles media and the fans, that he's going to cement himself as an all-time Laker great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be my dream as a Laker fan that someday, 10, 15 years from now, they're hanging his name up in that rafters,
Yeah.
whatever arena they'll be in. I don't know. It's good. I don't even know if it's called Staples anymore, but
no, it's called Crypto.
I'll leave you guys with this.
He's only
The Mavericks are
guaranteed to
moving
be a
to
Laker
Vegas.
for one more year.
Yeah.
So he might not even be a Laker.
Look at the
I'll leave
Golden
you guys
State.
with this. Since the Mavericks are potentially moving to Vegas, any word on Jerry Jones selling the Cowboys?
Oh, no chance.
Is that just me?
I wish.
No. I tell you what, 100 years from now, whoever the owner of the Cowboys, it'll be the last name Jones. It'll be Steven's son will end up being the owner of the Cowboys. I guarantee it.
Be a fool not
Well,
to.
maybe one out of the three will get it right.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the
All
call,
right.
Marty. He cried as usual.
Thanks, Marty.
Marty thinks there is the bad thing about being in LA, high expectations.
I would
good
rather
thing,
have. Yeah,
free Ozempic.
that is true. You have a beach in LA too, not in Dallas.
More
Really
sports
quick
and
to-
sports
I'll get
adjacent talk when we get back. We're going to package this a little more because this is obviously the story of the day that we haven't all the way opened up. More Luka talk, more Laker talk, more Masters talk, and I got some fun ones for you in the 5 o'clock hour. I get to surprise you with a couple stories. Live reaction time in the 5 o'clock hour. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
Welcome back, friend of the show. Welcome back to Two Men On. You listen to 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. It's a Fredless Thursday here at Sadie's on 4th Street. I'm drowning my sorrows. I'm drowning my loneliness for not having my co-host of 5 years on this program for one day this week with a delicious michelada here at the bar at Sadie's on 4th Street. Texas, we just call them red beers, but here it's a michelada.
A michelada.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask Carlos to
How's
say
it
it
taste?
for me a second.
It's up to expectations.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. I left out the Worcester. I left out the Tabasco. I left out all the sexy spices. I just tomato, lime, beer. So smooth.
That's just
Very
something
nice.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to train. I can't even dip grilled cheese in tomato sauce.
Oh, no.
So
Not off to a good start on that one.
Everyone just changed the radio station. No, but I think like I can't imagine drinking it. I'm looking at the Bloody Marys. I'm like, it took me a long time. I had to ask you, Van. You're actually the one that confirmed that there was alcohol in those. I thought it was just a different.
So
it was like a soup in a
tomato
glass or
juice.
something. Yeah, I'm like, all these vegetables. There's no way it's alcoholic drink.
Yeah, that's why they make them so strong and spicy, so you can put a buttload of vodka in there and
Not
be
have to-
fine with it. That's what it's all about, man.
Okay,
As of now, the cut seems to be +2. I'm going to rattle off some names at this point right now. And look, if you don't know how the Masters work, they got to go play Thursday and Friday before the cut. So usually the top 50 or whatever the top 50 line is, they get in. It's right around 50 for the Masters. But as of now, Phil Mickelson, not going to make it.
Oh,
Tony Finau, not going to make it. John Rahm, not going to make it. Wyndham Clark, not going to make it. Jose Maria Olazabal, not going to make it. Adam Scott, not going to make it. But good news, Carlos.
let's hear it.
As these guys can stage a comeback tomorrow, play some better golf, play their way into the cut, play their way into the purse, and make some serious coin off the Masters. I got an insanely hot take.
Let's hear it.
I know one guy who's not going to make it.
Oh, no.
And that is poor Nick Dunlap, American golfer, young man, promising, talented guy. But this poor guy, all 21 years of age, qualifying for the Masters.
That's why he's my guy. That's my golfer right there.
I thought you were going to say Tiger.
Zay, I don't know if you know this, but most golf courses have a par of 72. So wherever you are, plus or minus 72, you are under or over par. Obviously, the less strokes you do, Zay, the better you do in golf. So you want to be as far under par as you can.
Okay.
So what Nick Dunlop went and did today is he shot himself an 18 over 90. And he did it without 3-putting. It is an incredibly hard course. That goes without saying. One of the hardest courses these golfers will play every year. But my boy, Nicky D, Nicholas Dunlop, shot a 90 today.
First
Dare
time
I
in a
say,
decade.
one of us, one of us, one of us.
I mean, first time in a decade this has happened. Youngest player ever to do that at the Masters. He was just an amateur a few years ago, too, so we'll give him that. But, man, at this point, if I'm Nicholas Dunlap, I'm calling a few of my college buddies up and having a brewski or two on the golf course and just enjoying the rest of the weekend because you ain't getting nothing. I mean, you get to say to your grandchildren, yes, I golfed at the Masters, just don't look up how I did. But, man, I mean, he's 42nd in the PGA Tour World Rankings right now. But, man, I mean,
good golfer just had the worst day of his life.
We're all entitled to bad days, but some
mentioned
of these pictures of him are just so bad.
His
behind shrubs.
face.
Oh,
his poor face.
Golf Week posted one of him behind multiple trees trying to peek through, and it felt like I was out there doing the damn 9 out here in Puerto. Oh goodness, I'm forgetting it right now.
ADO.
Yes,
Arroyo del Oso.
Arroyo del Oso.
Yeah.
And that damn 9 gets me every time.
I think that's a fun.
It's a fun one. It's a great one.
Thanks for sending some props to the damn 9. It's a cool course.
Yes.
We told you about Freddie Couples earlier. He's 65, about to be 66, and he shot a 1 under. Bernhard Longer shot a 2 over, which he's in the cut. He is 67.
Wow.
So 21-year-old, top 40 in the world stud golfer. Poses problems for him too.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think if you put any of us on that course, we may get the whole 9 and be like, you know what, let's just call it a day. That's a rough one there. I mean, what do you do at that point if you're him? Like at the end of your day's over now. Like,
so what you have to do, Carlos? I will tell you what he has to do. He has to shoot somewhere in between 16 and 18 under tomorrow, which if he does that would be a course record by 5 strokes.
And who has the course record?
So Greg Norman, 1996.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and Nick Price, excuse me.
Well, what storyline would that be, right? You have the worst day in a decade.
The greatest.
And then you come back and you make the cut. Oh my goodness gracious. We're rooting for you, Nick. I know you're listening because everyone listens to the show. So, Nick, you have our full support, and you're always welcome to come play the damn 9 at Royal Delosa.
He would probably shoot, the damn 9. Obviously, 9 holes. It's in the name.
Yeah.
I bet he would shoot even after the worst round of golf in his life. He would probably at a 9-hole public course
at altitude.
He would probably shoot 12 under.
Yeah.
He'd shoot probably 12 under.
What would I do?
He would eagle every par 5. He would birdie every par 3. And he would at least birdie every par 4.
We need him to go play the 3.
But he shoots 18 over at Augusta.
But he shoots
Howard on the line.
We need to have him go play that 3-par course at Balloon Fiesta Park. And
that's a fun one. There's some par 2s on that one.
Yeah, that's a wild course.
Friend of the show, Howard on the Sports Animal Hotline. What's happening, my dude?
Hello, gentlemen. So you're saying I'm 64, so I could theoretically be a scratch golfer?
Yeah.
All you have to do is find a time machine, go back in time, put all of your money and effort and free time into golf, and then, you're right on there.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You're selling me a pipe dream because I don't know how to golf.
So if you started today, you would be good. And if I'm going by math here, I'm 43. I've played on and off since I was a teenager. You would be good never.
In the year 2125.
I'd be playing the greens in heaven or the roughs in hell. That's what you're saying, right?
Yep, you and Chubbs and Shooter McGavin.
All waving down at us as we play.
There you go, man. I tell you. So this whole Luca thing, I heard one of you, and I think it was you, Van. And I know you're drinking a michelada, but I'm wondering if you're hitting the green chili at Sadie's because you said a fair trade would have been AD and LeBron for Luca.
It still wouldn't be enough. And 2 first-rounders.
Oh, would it be enough?
Yeah.
Did you watch the game last night?
I watched snippets. I was running around choring, but I was watching. You know what I didn't see on TV was them zoom in on Nico. Zay, you watched a lot of the game, right?
They did a couple times. They did it,
yeah. He was just expressionless, sitting there very stoic and just taking in the game.
Yep.
Oh,
with his 2 security guards on each shoulder.
Yeah, he's had that same look in his face ever since he made that trade. He's got this stuck up, stubborn look. Like I'm not changing my mind for nobody. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
He's brave for being there last night.
I'll give him that. He keeps showing up.
He's sitting there after every Dallas game, and about into his 5th Jack and Coke, he's saying, "I'll prove to them this was a good trade next year. You wait and see." Guys, thanks for taking my call later.
Hey, thanks, Howard. Good call as usual.
Another thing I want to throw in real quick about that game, I think super sweet for Laker fans, is what happened the game before, right? Luka gets ejected because a ref thought he's mouthing off to him. Yes, most people thought it was an incorrect call. but he's also getting put in the spotlight because it's like, okay, Luka, you've been mouthing off to the refs forever. Give them a break. Yesterday, I didn't see him turn and say one thing negatively to the referee. You could see him trying, like actually putting an effort to say, I'm not going to go at the referees. And that is something, I mean, you switch that in one game, like just the very next day, boom, you fix that after your whole career. If Luka can keep doing that, tip of the hat to Luka. Also, tip of the hat to JJ Redick, because JJ Redick has said that he can talk to Luka differently than a lot of coaches because they were teammates.
Right.
Gosh,
yeah, really good point. And I think it's too small of a sample size that Luka turned around his whole attitude on NBA referees. Yeah, I think he bit his tongue because he's in his old home. He got the standing ovation. He got the beautiful video. I think he was like, you know what? Not today. I'll save it. I'll save it for the next one.
Mm-hmm. That also is very likely, more likely.
All right, top of the hour coming up. We have a fun one, a little wide world of sports roundtable. I want you guys to live react to a couple weird stories I dug up. Gonna have a lot of fun with it. Top of the hour. The boys are at Sadie's on 4th Street. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
sports animal.
Top of the hour here at Two Men On. We're having a lot of fun with it at Sadie's on 4th Street. I got a coldie in front of me. Carlos said he's waiting till the show's over. Yeah, he said he just can't control himself when he's on that sauce day.
That sauce, huh? The tomato sauce.
The tomato sauce that you won't dip in.
Yeah, no. Not even grilled cheese.
It is 5 o'clock now, so in honor of Jimmy Buffett, we may have to change that.
Oh, he's been peer pressured within.
No, not peer pressure. In honor of Jimmy Buffett.
Okay. You know, Howard called in and talking about Luka not performing and all the pressure that's about to be on him.
I feel like
it might start friggin' now, as the Lakers are pretty much locked into the 3 seed, and the Golden State Warriors are going to be somewhere around the 6 seed, and that would be an absolute disaster for the Lakers if they had to face the Warriors in the first round, who are as hot as a team can get, and dare I remind you, they got playoff Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, playoff Steph, playoff Jimmy, and Draymond Green. Obviously, the Warriors have been on a little bit of a skid the past 2 games. But the Warriors are firing on all cylinders. And let's not forget, that Bay Area crowd, much better than an LA crowd, too. Much more rowdy.
Okay, I feel this is not coming from an objective, journalistic, integral place.
Oh, no, it actually is. We can pull up the decimal meters between Crypto.com and, the Chase Center and Oracle Arena, and it is scientifically loud at those arenas.
Yeah, to be honest, a lot of the times it's because the Laker fans, you got a lot of people worried about being bougie in there. Celebrities that are worried about their outfits and the cameras, but they still definitely get loud.
The Warriors are the people's team in the Bay Area. And by the people, I mean more everyone outside of San Francisco care more about the Warriors than San Francisco does.
Now, if you get individual, I don't think you're going to see Halle Berry sitting courtside at a Warriors game. But then again, possibly. But Laker game, you're guaranteed to see some celebrities. I think that's their pool.
Well, all the celebrities at Golden State Warriors matches are all billionaire tech guys.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be able to pick them out of a lineup.
And John Fisher, but we won't get into that. Some quick breaking news from Jeff Goodman. The Lobos have landed a commit.
Whoa.
So we now have 3 players
on the
Lobo roster. This according to Jeff Goodman. New Mexico has landed a commitment from Garden City Community College forward Antonio Chol. He told the field of 68, the 6'9" redshirt sophomore averaged 19.5 points and 7.6 rebounds per game this past season. He also shot 40% from 3, so something a lot of Lobos did not do very well last year. He seems to be doing well. 40% from 3 would be huge if you can continue to do that in the Mountain West.
So does this feel to you, Carlos, like that's our first starter so far?
This might be our first starter.
Okay.
I mean, Emmanuel Sacco is still with the team.
Work in progress.
Yeah. He never entered the transfer portal. CJ Nolan, according to his parents, who have been very active about this, actively working to get a 7th year as well. True Washington left for Miami yesterday, but not to fear, Lobo fans. There's no need to panic. There's a lot of panicking going on. There's no need to panic because, may I remind you, when Richard Pitino got here in 2021, Jalen House, the first commitment, did not show up or commit to UNM till June of 2021, and Pitino was signed in March. So let's all relax.
There's some money to spread around.
Exactly.
Not as much money as the big dogs have.
Yeah,
but we were almost served food here at Sadie's that was not ours. So excuse my stutter. I was trying to alert.
There were some
the lovely servers. In fact, not our order.
Yeah. Chili relleno over there too with some tacos. Oh my goodness, we might have to move tables, man. Let's see. They were.
I got a fun one for you guys right here. I doubt you've heard about this story, because I had to dig deep for this one.
Let's hear it.
But every month, the Colorado Division of Gaming releases monthly reports of state betting proceeds that break down each sport by wagers placed. So they know they could break it down to how much money got bet on football, how much money got bet on basketball, how much money got bet on football, how much money got spent on MLB. Any sport, you can track the money, go where it goes. From month to month to month, over the winter of 2024 and now January of 2025, reports are 60 days behind, January 2025, the state of Colorado, Carlos, state of Colorado, Zay, spent $31.7 million gambling on a certain sport. Would you like to guess which sport got gambled to a tune of $31.7 million on?
Would it be, is it first? The highest?
Where does the
follow your heart here? What do you think $31.7 million got gambled on in Colorado?
Give me Major League Soccer. And soccer in general, football.
Okay, that is a very special sport, closest to your heart. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, good guess. Good guess, Zay.
I hate to seem cliche and go NFL, but the Broncos had a very good year. Bo Nix, they were, winning a lot of games, and in games where they were underdogs, there was like a good chance that they could have gone in there and squeaked out a win. So I'm going to go football.
Okay, that's a great guess. NFL is significantly higher than $31 million. That $31.7 million, which is a record in this country, was gambled on competitive ping pong.
Wow.
There we go.
The state of Colorado has a ping pong problem.
That's where do you watch competitive ping pong? Is my question.
You might be surprised to know that it is on a lot of 4-letter networks. It is on a lot of 3-letter networks, and it is shown overnight on a bunch of digital-only networks, and you can take bets on ping pong around the world at certain sports books. And Colorado, in January of 2025, put more money gambling on ping pong than not any other state, the country. The state of Colorado has a ping pong gambling problem. And I'll tell you what, I'm not even mad.
No, I mean, ping pong is a great sport. I mean, it's the sport of Forrest Gump. I mean, Forrest Gump played that sport. But yeah, you're right. There has to be. Why?
There's like an academy there or something, like a ping pong academy. I would direct it towards like legalization of marijuana, but there's no correlation there.
Here's my guess. There's a lot of people in Colorado that can't sleep, right?
Okay.
So when you can't sleep, you turn on ESPN News and you get the Ocho is on, or you're scrolling through, your apps and stuff, and ping pong comes up and it catches your eye, and there's something about that little ball.
I have an
being
idea.
batted. Oh, the Olympics as well.
Now, Carlos, I believe that you are correct.
Yes.
Because it's gambling addiction isn't just during the exact game. It's all day, every day.
Yeah.
And if you want to squeeze in a couple more bets, you want to sweat out a couple more bets, you do it overnight, and you do it on Chinese or European or South African, I don't know, ping pong league.
And then wake up and it's like Christmas. I think I figured it out.
Okay.
I think this has got to be it. So why do they say that, say you're a baseball pitcher and you're coming from Florida, and say you come to the Isotope or you go to the Rockies, why would they say that you should maybe like pitch a couple games for the Isotopes before you just go to the Rockies, being given your pitcher from, say, a place like Florida or Texas? It's because of the altitude and the way the ball travels through the air because of the altitude. And I believe that the reason why Colorado is so heavy on ping pong is because obviously the altitude is right up there with New Mexico. I think that highest points in Colorado, right? Or is it?
They're both the same. They're both the same. Denver and Albuquerque are both a mile high.
Albuquerque is higher by a few feet.
I wouldn't be surprised if, that was why. Because the way the ball travels, and I Googled it and it was confirmed. Thinner air affects the ball's trajectory and spin, making it harder to control shots like loops and serves.
Okay, well, they're not just. I mean, this is a great theory, Zay. I like where you're going with this. It's not just Colorado ping pong. They're gambling across overnight ping pong all over the world. Any league that takes bets, or any book that takes bets on international ping pong leagues, the majority of bets are coming from the state of Colorado.
I mean, there
It's just
is
one guy.
It's just one guy.
That'd be sweet.
It's Mattress Mac.
Yeah, Mattress Mac. It's Stan Kroenke.
Stan Kroenke.
Stan Kroenke.
Staying up late.
He's got an itch.
There is a
Sitting in
major
a
league.
lab.
There's a major league table tennis league in the United States, and I've just found this out. And the winner wins $100,000 in prize money. There are 8 teams, and there are the Carolina Gold Rush, the Chicago Wind, the Florida Crocs, the Princeton Revolution, the Bay Area Blasters. I found my new team. The Los Angeles Spinners, the Texas Smash, and the most creative of them all, the Portland Paddlers.
The Paddlers.
The Paddlers.
Okay, that could be water. It could be ping pong. It could be
A lot.
a kid gets in trouble in elementary school. It could
Or
be
duck.
anything.
You know, duck
In the
paddles.
90s.
Yeah.
Duck paddle. Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you what it is. If you boys have ever had skin in the game,
Uh-huh.
and that last second 3-pointer won that bet for you, that walk-off home run won that bet for you, that time expiring field goal ever won that bet for you, it's a high that can only be matched. I'm assuming the drug and sex world. So
Colorado.
you get that high, and you have to chase it. And do you know a single sport that happens faster than ping pong?
No.
How exciting must that be? If you have the ADHD ability to watch ping pong at all, and you got some skin in the game, it must be the most exciting thing you've ever seen in your life.
I mean, I am so, wow. I really want to watch one of these live.
That's a fact. Ping pong, I was going to say that earlier. Number one, being good at it is one of the best feelings. Like, if you notice that you're not just all right at ping pong, you're actually good. It is one of the best feelings. The most fun days I ever had in school is when we were in the ping pong section of PE class, and there would just be about 10 tables lined up, and you just kind of do this rotation order where everyone kind of has like this thing. You get to play everybody once. If you could go like 17-3 or something like that, you felt like the man the rest of the day. So playing it feels awesome. Watching it super intense, because I think when they get professional, they like step way back from the table, don't they?
Yeah.
They're way back from the table.
I was watching some of it during the Olympics, and it was so fascinating. You could most of the time you can't even see the ball.
Right.
You're just seeing the reaction, and it's so great.
Well noted. I'm going to start betting on that in the future. Sounds like there's money to be made.
Be like Colorado 1, Isaiah Johnson from New Mexico 2, rest of the country.
Let's have like a ping pong gamble off. Let's consult our sister show somewhere in Colorado, probably Denver, to attempt to compete with us. And then we'll have a ping pong bet off.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. We'll okay, we have X amount of money to spend on this game. We'll see how much skin you get in and how much cheese you get out of it.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm 100% in on this.
I mean, we got to find,
because I've been playing ping pong since I was a teenager.
We got to find our
affiliate above average at ping pong.
There you go.
So I feel like I have a skill set, like a horse whisperer, but like a paddle whisperer.
A paddle whisperer.
We got a cheat code. Do you hold it by the handle, or do you do the 4 fingers in the back? When I did the 4 fingers in the back, I was unstoppable.
Oh, so there's a lot of different grips.
Thumb over.
Yeah, it depends on your opponent.
Yeah.
You're a professional, yes. Fans, teenage, you said? Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, I don't play often because I was a teenager. Now I'm a grown up. I don't squeeze in a lot of ping pong time, boys.
I say we invest in that major league table tennis, the MLTT. Bring a team to Albuquerque.
I'm into this. I'm into this so hard. I'm writing this down, and we're doing it.
We're going to invest in a
ABQTT.
ABQTT, and we got to figure out a name for this team.
All right, boys. I told you that the Lakers should be very weary of the Warriors in the first round, but I'm going to tell you that the whole league should be weary of the Warriors. I'm going to tell you why when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. One Van Nunley, one Carlos Tenorio, and one Zay Johnson back at the studio, having a lot of fun at Sadie's on 4th Street, meeting some new friends.
Yes.
New friends of the show.
After we almost stole their food.
Yeah.
They have become friends of the show.
I could have just said, yeah, those are my tacos, actually. All right, Zay. I'm sorry about your Lakers. Carlos, sorry about, well, nope, you're a Warriors fan. Never mind. Strike that, reverse it. I'm very happy for your Warriors, who are going to be 24-25 NBA champions.
Again.
Oh, wow. And I don't mind telling you why. It's not the incredible Steph Curry, who, in the twilight of his career, is working his way onto Rushmore of the best basketball players. It's not because Steve Kerr is an upper echelon basketball coach. It's not because of that brilliant acquisition of Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline. It's not a ragtag bunch of supporting cast who kind of do a great job bolstering that Warriors roster. It's not Draymond Green being the enforcer,
punching the
playing
opponent
dirty, kicking a nugget pouch every once in a while when he needs to. That's not why. Boys, I'll tell you why. It's because Kendrick Lamar dropped a new album this year.
Yep.
And every single year Kendrick Lamar has dropped an album, the Golden State Warriors have won the National Basketball Association championship.
I mean, there's your answer. The Warriors will be champions. We'll be hanging another banner in Chase Center come this October. I mean, it's fate is sealed already. The Warriors are champions.
The last 4 in a row, 2015.
Champions.
To Pimp a Butterfly, legendary album. Golden State Warriors won a championship. 2017, the album Damn won a Pulitzer for Kendrick Lamar. Warriors won the championship.
Yep.
Back to back the very next year. Produced by Top Dog Entertainment, heavily featuring Kendrick Lamar. Black Panther, the album. 2018, Warriors win the championship. 2022, Kendrick Lamar releases Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Warriors win the championship. 2025, On Top of the World, #1 non-Taylor Swift album in the world, Kendrick Lamar's GNX. Warriors will win the championship. Congratulations, Carlos.
Thank you. You know, he performed the Super Bowl too. You know that. I think that might mean the Warriors will not lose a game in the playoffs. They're going to sweep everybody on their way to it. I might be a little ambitious, but yes, thank you for the championship, Mr. Lamar. Fantastic guy. I think he would say the about the Warriors. They not like us.
Ooh.
They not like us.
Well, hate to be that guy.
Please do.
Please do.
I do got some kryptonites here to this theory.
Okay.
Number one being, who is the #1 captain of the whole Warriors organization? That would be one Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is a known Drake fan and has been seen on video saying, can we please turn off this Not Like Us song? I get it's a good song, but geez, we're overdoing it. That was Steph Curry during the pregame of the Olympics. He said that to LeBron as they were warming up. Number 2, LeBron, as named in Kendrick's second diss song, hey, LeBron, keep the kids from around him.
Yes.
Kendrick's advice to LeBron. And LeBron has been known to be supporting Kendrick. Well, really, he tried to support both sides, but
Sure.
Drake then dissed him, and now they have
he's
their
Switzerland in the beef.
Yes. LeBron leaning towards Kendrick. So therefore, and also Los Angeles, LA, Compton. Look, I Kendrick, if he's not a Lakers fan, it's gonna be Clippers. Okay, so I think in Kendrick's heart and soul, he's rooting for the Lakers, and he even added a Luka bar in one of his recent songs. He says, "I carry the weight. I'm Luka Doncic." That's what he said.
From friend of the show, Chris, I'm literally at Sandia right now, taking the Warriors to win the ship.
There you go, Chris.
So we are in somebody's friend of the show, Chris's AirPods right now at Sandia. So
Poor Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Bet confidently.
It does seem like a
friend of the
smart
show, Gabe, says, preaching to me, Warriors and Kendrick, I'm on my way to the sportsbook now. So, please, again, we say it on this
like
program a lot. Gambling is supposed to be for fun. Okay? Don't bet beyond your means. And don't get mad at me when I tell you about the prophecy of Kendrick and the Warriors doesn't happen.
Man says it, and two people are like, all right, I'm betting
Immediately
Warriors.
lost people money.
Before that catches too much steam.
You know what? We're going to look back at April 10th, 2025 and be like, that was the day Van told us the Warriors would win the title, and we called him a fool.
Yeah.
And we said Carlos was too optimistic. Now, you all thought I was a fool? Oh, look who's laughing now.
The prophecy of Kendrick and playoff Jimmy. That's all I need. I'm going to get some skin in the game, too.
The Yay area.
When we get back, we talk shop with voice of the Isotopes, Josh Sushan. You're listening to Two Men On, 99.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
Welcome back to the program, Duke City. Welcome back to Two Men On. Welcome back to Sadie's on 4th Street. And welcome back to 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. It's rocking here in the bar at Sadie's. Come get you some inchies and a marg, because there's no better place to do it right now. Carlos Tenorio joining us on the program, and Fred Slowstead. He's out in the community helping the children's on behalf of Boys and Girls Club. Zay Johnson back at the studio. Thanks to all the friends of the show who contributed to the program today, whether you called in or text messages or emailed or frantically ran into the bar at Sadie's on 4th and waved your hands around and said, I have a hot take. And I said, wait for commercial. And you said, okay. And then we fix it all together. And also thank you to Josh Sushan for joining us once again. One more segment of Crosstalk with my personal hero, Josh Sushan, before we take you over to the pregame and Isotopes baseball right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Sush!
What's happening, guys?
I don't think the umps got a lot of time left. So yesterday, home plate umpire Mike Muchlinski told the Cardinals players if they touch their helmet to sarcastically suggest they're challenging a pitch, they would be ejected. Wow. He shortly went on to miss 22 calls. How far are we from the robot revolution, Sush?
Wow, I didn't realize that he missed 22 calls in the game. My goodness. It's going to happen next year. I don't know this, but I would say 80% confident that next year in Major League Baseball, it will not be pure computers calling balls and strikes. It's going to be the challenge system that we use that was used in spring training. I think that's what we're going to have next year.
Hard agree. Super hard agree. And to me, like, you know, a lot of these players and basically every major sport required to do post-game interviews, required to have microphones in your face. You have to have some newspaper dork. I'm not talking about you, Sushan. You're a legend. You got to have some newspaper dork shove a microphone in your face and tell you everything wrong you did during the game, and you're forced to answer them. But the umps just get to leave the second the game's over and go have a nice steak dinner with their friends. Unfair.
You know, back in my day as a newspaper reporter, I went into the umpire's room and talked to them. I'm not like, I guess this is a humble brag. I didn't do it on a regular basis, but I would occasionally go in there based on not really if they had a bad night, balls and strikes, but more if there was some type of ejection, if there was some type of just like unique play that happened in the game. I mean, so again, the idea that the umpires never have to explain themselves, that's a misnomer, but they do occasionally have to, you know, answer some questions. And what I do like is I think it's still on Twitter. I think it's called the Umpire Auditor.
Sure.
Where it shows exactly like how many calls they missed and all that. And so there may not be somebody interviewing them, but there's plenty of people on social media who can see exactly how good or bad they were.
I mean, it's we see it. Josh, it's Carlos. I went from producing to being on the show. What do you know about that?
I like it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Last night's game was a pitcher's duel, to say the least. But tonight we have two starters in Aaron Brown and Will Palmquist, with ERAs respectively 8.31, and Aaron Brown having an ERA of 11.25. How do you see this game playing out compared to last night's pitcher's duel?
Well, small sample size. Let's start with that. Palmquist has pitched once. Aaron Brown has pitched twice. And Palmquist gave up a home run that, since we're talking about umpires, the umpire blatantly missed. It was a foul ball. I saw like the NASA tracking system of it. It's not really the NASA tracking system. It kind of looks like it. But it's the same system that tracks for ABS for balls or strikes. It was clearly foul. 2-run homer. That was kind of the difference in Palmquist having an okay outing or a not so good outing. That was also in Albuquerque, and you know from listening to me last night, Carlos, it's hard to hit here, right? The wind was blowing in from right center. That's the prevailing wind. Wind is blowing again in from right center here. You're at sea level. It's 405 to straightaway center. Even during batting practice, there was multiple times guys for the Isotopes hit bombs, and everyone kind of stops, turn around. How far did that one go? oh, it hit the wall. It's different here. It's just different. It's harder to hit here.
How's the humidity tonight for this ball game too? I know that has played a factor in the past during the summer.
Yeah, it's not so bad yet. This is nice that we're here in April as opposed to being here in middle of the summer. We will be back here in the middle of the summer where the humidity is really bad. It's one of those where it feels good because it's warm, but you're like, yeah, I'm not quite ready for temperatures that's in the 80s, But the humidity is not too bad.
Sush, it's a long season. You got to have a short memory. You get a lot of reps, a lot of games, a lot of at-bats, and a lot of final scores. But when you're looking at your schedule and you see 3 straight losses all by 1 run, it's kind of hard to snap out of it and get off the schneid. What is Pilo saying to the boys? To be like, hey, we're just right here. We got this.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I think that it's a concerning trend because last year the Isotopes in 1-run games were 17 and 23, and most of those wins came late in the year. If it's 1 or 2-run games, the boys were 14 games under 500. So you think about, let's say you're 14 above 500 instead of 14 under. That's a 28-game difference in the standings. And very often it's one play that is the difference when you lose by 1 run. I thought Sunday's game, the difference was a player for Salt Lake stole second in a tie game in the 9th inning, scored on a base hit. That was the difference. Tuesday's game, a smart base running play, sprinting past second. We talked about it yesterday on the show. That led to a run. That was the difference in the game. Yesterday, the Isotopes have lots of runners in scoring position early. They can't capitalize. In this series, they're 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Sometimes, you want a grand slam in the first inning to break it open. Sometimes you just need to sacrifice fly, to get a run on the board. And, look, let's be honest. The Rockies are losing a lot in the major leagues. Isotopes have not won a lot here at AAA. I think both the Topes and the Rockies need to be dramatically better at these close 1-run games.
Would you say is it more the bullpen? Pitching in Albuquerque is awful for anybody. But what do you think needs to improve? Is it a pitching standpoint, or do we just need to bring these guys in across the plate on that aspect?
Yeah, you know what? There was a time in my life that I thought that your 1-run record was a direct indication of how often your bullpen was, but I was wrong. Like, that's one of the ways, but you could be down by 4 and then you rally and you come up short and you lose by a run, and that had nothing to do with the bullpen, right? Or it could be that you had a 4-run lead and you give up 3, and so you barely hold on, and that doesn't mean that the bullpen was great. There's a lot of different ways that you win or lose a game by 1. Ultimately, to me, it comes down to just how clean of a baseball game are you playing. If there's a ground ball to short, are you turning the double play to get out of the inning, or did you only get 1 out and now the next batter gets a base hit? A lot of times it's not something that shows up in the scorebook, right? You don't turn a double play. You don't block a ball in the dirt. That allows the runner to get to second. And now the next guy hits a grounder to short. That would have been a double play, but now you can't turn 2 because the guy's at second. To me, it's just fundamental baseball.
Sush, I might have asked you too sexy of a question with not enough time left, but here we go. As a spectator, is catching a foul ball the coolest thing you can do in all of sports?
Oh, yes, no doubt about it. I don't even know how much more I have to elaborate. Yes, 100%. And if you catch it with a bare hand on the fly and then you hand it to a kid, dude, you're just like, everyone in the section should buy you a beer.
Unless you're like a pro fighter and then the Malice at the Palace happens.
Yes.
Besides that one very niche moment, catching a foul ball is unrivaled. You can't do that in any other sport.
Yeah. Where you get to keep
it too.
Especially like you do something crazy like, you got your baby in one arm and you catch the ball with your beer, or you just catch it with the beer in general, which is awesome, and chug the beer with the ball in it. There's so many great options for fans to be part of the experience, and it's so unique to baseball. It doesn't exist anywhere else.
No, you can't keep the football in football, and it's goes over for an extra point. So that's one of the great things about this game. So great.
Are you guys pro or con bringing your glove to the game and catching it with your glove?
Well, I got thick palm skin, Sush, so I don't mind telling you that I'm just as good with the glove or barehanded. So in my anecdotal story, I would say no glove, but no shame at all if you bring your glove.
Carlos.
I am pro as long as you're not Zach Hampling people and pushing kids out of the way. Or leaning over the fence to grab it that way.
Good reference. Sue, who's on the pregame?
Pregame show with Sterling Thompson. Fascinating background. He was born in Colorado, but he grew up in Florida, and yet he was still a Rockies fan because of his parents. We talked about that. We talked about first couple of weeks at AAA and some other guys that he admired growing up.
Did you ask him about professional ping pong and how much he gambles on it?
No, sorry. We ran out of time.
Oh, bummer. That's a long season. You'll be interviewing him again. Colorado is leading the country in gambling on ping pong, and it's becoming quite the issue to our friend up north.
Really?
That's a real thing.
I got a homework assignment when this game's done.
$31.7 million gambled on ping pong in Colorado. Not only is that the highest gambling state on ping pong, that's more than the rest of the country.
That wasn't in the year. That was just a month, correct?
January. Yeah.
I was today years old when I learned that you could gamble on ping pong.
Well, there you go. I mean, wow. I don't know. What do you say to that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still wild to me. So wild. Keys to victory for Palmquist. Have a good outing today.
The key for him is always if he can throw his off-speed stuff for a strike early in the count, it sets up everything. He's not going to blow you away with 97. He's got a good fastball, but he's got to be able to use his secondary pitches early in the count.
Very Chris Bubic-esque. Royals lefty, low 90s, but he's got the off-speed stuff to keep you on your toes.
That's a good immaculate grid guy right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A good fantasy pickup this year, too. Follow me.
Palmquist kind of reminds me of Bud Black, actually, a little bit on the mound.
Ooh.
Right? Rockies manager had a lengthy career. Very good, lengthy career.
Yeah.
He's a good immaculate grid guy, too.
Yes.
What? So have you ever had back to the foul balls, and we're right up against it. Have you ever had a foul ball land in the booth, Sush?
One in Memphis, I dropped it, and the players and coaches ridiculed me for months.
Oh, no. You'll never come back from that. Oh,
that's the only time there's ever been one in the booth. Oh, wait, there was one in Round Rock, but it was like I had no chance at it, hit the wall on the fly, and left like a huge hole.
Oh, with the angle of the nets and where your booth is at Topes, it'd be incredibly hard to sneak one in to where you are.
Yeah, it's like impossible.
Seuss, thank you so much. We will be talking mañana. Always a pleasure, my friend.
All right. Enjoy your night, guys. Thank you.
Carlos, thanks for sitting in today.
Yes, thank you for having me. And before we go off, a quick happy birthday to family friend Dolores Huerta. 95 years.
95. That's great. Zay, back at the studio.
No matter if it's Steph Curry, the hatchet's buried, Lakers in 5.
Okay. I knew, right. Friend of the show, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for participating. We love you so much. And see you tomorrow, Burke.